Hi friends, this is Lana and welcome to my new video. It's been a long time since I have posted anything on YouTube, and recently I really wanted to revise this page and tell you and show you something. And today we are going to paint some cute snobby apples with gouache. In that time that I haven't been here, a lot has changed. And the most important thing is that my watercolor train has probably left, leaving me on the platform where everyone was painting with gouache. Yes, without even noticing, I have gotten hooked on gouache, and here are some works that I have already painted. I really like it. This is my huge set of Himi Gouache, which was sent to me from China since I can't find anything like this on my Ukrainian market. I posted the unboxing on my Instagram. If you are interested, go check it out. There is also the color chart, and since we are going to do a little painting today, I'll be referring to the colors I indicated here and showing them in the screen. This paint tray of titanium white is already finished, and I decided to just refresh it by filling it with titanium white from Royal Talents that I had. This set is quite easy to use as many of the necessary colors are already mixed here, which makes painting much easier. And I also like that the paint's in a paint tray and you don't have to constantly squeeze it from tubes. By the way, this gouache doesn't dry like regular gouache. You just need to spray it with water before using, and that is, you can paint. Since it's December outside, I want to paint something wintry, and today I'm planning to paint these winter apples. I saw them near my dacha home when I was driving past, and they were so cute and beautiful that they inspired me to paint. I didn't take a photo of them at the time, so I think this beautiful photo reference on the internet will be perfect for us. I'll be painting in this small sketchbook from the Moleskine Art line and will be using different brushes, mostly synthetic, and I'll refer to them as well as the colors I'll be using during the painting process. Well, grab some tea and cookies and let's get started. Firstly, I'll tape the edges of my paper. This washi tape I have now isn't very good and it tears the paper unfortunately when I remove it. But I don't have any other right now, so I'll use what I have. Now I'll make a preliminary sketch with a simple pencil outline where each apple will be and look at the composition from the side relative to the sheet, so that the apples aren't too big or too small. I'm doing everything schematically without much details. This isn't a very complex painting, but I think it's for an intermediate level of drawing. Although I painted it pretty quickly, I think if you want to recreate this painting, you'll be able to do it, believe me. I'll leave the photo reference in the link in the description to this video. And the most important thing is not to be too critical of yourself, but to enjoy the painting process, isn't that right? I have never quite understood where artists get this perfectionism from. So many people can't even start a painting because they're afraid of messing it up, or they think their work isn't good enough. I used to struggle with that too, but I overcame it. How? By simply painting every day and showing everyone my work no matter what. And you know what? No one ever said anything negative to me. For me, art is all about freedom of thoughts and technique, about ideas and bringing them to life. I'll start with the background, and since it's winter I need blue tones: sky blue, ultramarine, grey, white and some purple rose. And so gradually I mix these colors and be sure to take a lot of white going around the apples. There is no need to do this very carefully because the great thing about gouache is that you paint in layers, and if you accidentally get paint where it shouldn't be, it's not a big deal, you cover it up with the next layer. And also gouache dries quickly. In general, I have found many advantages to this medium, and as for my set, it's a bit not standard gouache, more like jelly gouache. It never dries out in this paint trays to a stone-like state. You just need to spray it with water before using. I love the freedom of mixing colors on the page without fear. If I want to add depth, I'll throw in a darker blue. And if I don't like it, I'll just add some white. It's all about improvisation and following your intuition. Have you ever noticed that if you give a group of people the same reference image and instructions how to paint it, their finished piece will all be unique? This is because we're all different and creativity comes from our hearts. Now I am moving on to the branch. I'm mixing black with brown and creating a slightly rough, uneven line. If you look at real branches, you'll see they are never perfect. They have little indentations, shadows, and all sorts of interesting details. Next, I'm choosing colors for the apples. I'm using various shades from the red palette. You can see the names on the screen now. I have so many shades of red in my palette, and I'm excited to use them all on my apples. I'm not going to get bogged down in theory and the perfect sphere. Instead, I'll study my reference photo and play with the light and shadow. Sure, it's technically correct to start with the sphere, but honestly, I hate those rules. Using broad strokes, I apply the paint following the principle of dark next to light and light next to dark. At the bottom of the apple, I'm using a warm yellow and blending the edges with red using a slightly dry brush for a more realistic look. I'm filling in the hollow with an olive green for the shadow and adding a black line for the deepest part. Now I'm painting the leaf with an olive green, taking my time to make it neat. This empty space here is for the snow. I decided to darken the background near the leaf a bit to make the snow appear more voluminous with the help of a shadow. For the snow on the apple, I'm starting with a little blue base, then adding white. Snow has many shades, so this makes it easier to create depth. I'm applying the white thickly in dots over the blue, letting some of the blue snow through to create shadows. I'm adding a burgundy shadow underneath the snow on the leaf using a thin synthetic brush for a neat line. This helps create a more realistic and voluminous look. By the way, you can achieve smooth transitions easily with a slightly dry brush. Moving on the next apple, I'm using the same technique. I'm placing dark red next to light and light next to dark, and referring to my reference photo. I'm adding white where I need to highlight areas. I'm blending the colors to create soft, smooth edges. For the next apple, I'm following the same process. I noticed that the previous apple needed a bit more shadow, so I'm darkening it. The bottom of this apple is in yellow-green, so I'm using a warm yellow mixed with olive green. I initially used a bright green for the hollow, but decided it didn't fit with the overall palette, so I am correcting it with olive. I'm painting this apple from top to the bottom using a lighter shade of red. I'm adding white where needed to create highlights. I'm simply following the reference photo as closely as possible. I'm adding white dots for the snow on this apple. I'm following the same process for all the apples. I always feel like I need to add more layers because gouache lightens as it dries. This apple in the middle is in deep shadow, so I am using a dark burgundy, a mix of red and brown. I'm placing dark next to light to make this apple stand out in the composition. Everything is as usual in general. I apply with such large strokes. Notice that I don't use too wet brush, that is, the paint doesn't drip from my brush. Where there is a shadow, there is always light nearby. Actually, the whole idea of painting is playing with light and shadow. moving on to the leaves. I'll fill everything in with olive colors now, then I'll darken and detail it. A little bit of burgundy because before winter there was autumn and the leaves turned slightly brown. With a thin calligraphy brush I'll draw the veins on the leaves and add snow as well. Here and there a little shadow on the snow with blue paint. And now the details: white edges near the black dents and shadows under the snow. And now I'll make fallen snow. I wanted to make some snowflakes bigger, so I outlined them, and you can also play with the background. Add depths. For example, I just mix blue with purple, blue and white and smear the edges. Well, that's it, friends. Our wonderful winter apples in gouache is done. I know you watched it until the end. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if so, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like it to this video. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Bye bye!